What's going on? What's going on? Hopefully we're live. Looks like we are live. Nice. Live on another YouTube live here. Coming at you with another surf check. If you don't know me, you're probably a subscriber, but again, this is your boy Justin Wilmot, and I love doing these YouTubes on the way to the office to give a quick tip, you know, and you're coming along, a little ride along with me. Just check the surf, We live pretty close to the office, and let's see what we got going on here today. Oh, it is nugging. It's big, but it's all blown out. Here, take a look. What? Big and chunky. Big and chunky. That's from that low pressure that we got out there. We actually got a big low pressure out there. It creates a lot of times winds that are just as strong as tropical depressions, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, looks like I'll be at least paddling out for lunchtime, so that's good. Yeah, it is a beautiful day. Beautiful day. So I wanted to tell you really quickly about how I got motivation, go to work. That's right, Brian. That's right, buddy. It's good to see you here, man. Good to see you here, buddy. Awesome. Yeah, give me some thumbs up, man, or some of the likes. I'm not really exactly sure what this symbol looks like on the YouTube live here for the thumbs up, but I'm sure it's here. So and share it too as well. So yeah, man, it's a beautiful day. A little overcast, but we're gonna go check the surf as we do every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, and then we mix in with a little bit of real estate tips for you. So how I made my first $10,000. I'm gonna keep it short, simple, to the point. Well, first it starts with all good stories. I hired a coach. So I had a coach, right? And then that coach told me, Justin, you must meet the #1 broker in your market. And now, for context, at the time, it was 2008 and 9 when the sky was falling. I mean, completely falling. Falling out of the dang... Like, I'm talking, it was bad. It was rough out, right? Real estate had this plague condemnation to it. People were running from real estate. Everybody was losing their money. And so it was chaos. And so to go into real estate at the time was a bit, what most people thought, at least the people around me thought, was crazy. So anyway, I hired a real estate coach. He told me, Justin, you got to meet the #1 broker. I was nervous as hell. My mindset is, look, I'm this young guy from, at the time I was 21 years old, I believe. And I said, man, I don't know anything about real estate. What kind of value am I going to add to this guy's life or anybody's life? And, you know, all these self-limiting beliefs were running through my mind. All I ever did was this. You know, this is our pier. This is what I do, is just surf every day, all day. Never went to school. No college education, except for a couple of semesters, and dropped out only because that was my grandfather's wish when he was passing away on his deathbed from cancer. He wanted me to go to college. So it's the only reason I took a couple years of courses and eventually just dropped out, because I knew that I was built for something else. It wasn't in me, which is interesting. Quick side note, he's an entrepreneur as well, but he was college educated. So, you know, all these limiting beliefs, what am I going to do? So finally, he would tell me to do it. I kept putting it off. Finally, we got on another coaching call, like 4 calls later. He's like, dude, did you meet the broker? Did you meet the #1 REO broker in your market? And I said, no, I didn't. He goes, look, man, you paid me a lot of money. You can either take my advice or not. So I said, well, shit. Might as well do it, right? So I mustered up the courage. My back was against the wall. I felt like it was the only thing that I had to do at that point in time. And I went ahead and made the phone call, set up a lunch appointment, met with this broker. He was a HUD broker. And this HUD broker was the man. He was the guy. He was the go-to guy in Orlando, Florida. And long story short, it went great. I just built rapport with him, let him know what I was new, what I was inspiring to do, and that was to wholesale real estate. I wanted to wholesale properties, and he was a HUD broker, so that's government-owned properties. And I wanted to flip those properties because there was deals everywhere. Sky was falling, foreclosures and distressed assets everywhere. So I just needed to learn the strategies and the techniques in order to wholesale those properties. What's up, Mr. Webb? What up, boss? What up, man? Glad you're here, buddy. So I just needed to learn those things. And I learned them quickly, within like a week. And this broker sort of took me under his wing because he appreciated the fact that I was so willing to just go out there and hustle. So he helped me. So how I made that first $10,000 was aligning myself with somebody that I looked for. I looked for that rock star. I looked for that #1 guy that had assets, that had listings, that had access, that other wholesalers and other investors were using. I had that guy. And as I say, the rest is history. He took me under his wing. He showed me what a deal was, how to make offers on HUD, which is housing of urban development. It's, you know, HUD properties, government-owned properties. He showed me how to do it. We did it. We started making a bunch of offers. He helped me lock in my first deal. We locked it up. I sent him escrow, put that baby under contract, and with HUD properties, you have 60 days to close. It takes 60 days to close. So I frantically started marketing the heck out of that property, which I never recommend, right? These days I always teach people how to find buyers first, figure out what the pulse is, what the commonality is, what your buyers want, and then go and get it. But at the time I didn't know that. I was just putting shit under contract no matter what. Not a good strategy. So anyway, I put this under contract though. Luckily it was in a good area, good price point. I marketed it. I ended up getting a guy that his for a living, a younger guy, he's a contractor, a licensed GC. He moves his family into the properties, fixes them up, lists them and sells them, and moves from house to house. He does like 3 or 4 a year. That's how he made a living. And he made a good living, probably a couple $100,000 a year, just moving 3 times a year. So I didn't know what the hell I was doing though. When I had this contract, this HUD property, I knew simple things, how to get buyers, like bandit signs. And so that's what I did. I would drive out to Orlando and do bandit signs, which is an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes away from me. And I would do it in the middle of freaking night, avoid like dodging drunk people, like everyone's on their way to the clubs, woohoo, all hollering at me and stuff. And here I am, right? It's 21-year-old guy wearing black clothes, putting bandit signs in the medians. Just like, you know, in your major cities and your metropolitans, you see them everywhere, those bandit signs. That's what I was doing. So I put those signs up, got lots of calls. This guy came from it. He wanted it. I was so nervous. I had a blank purchase and sales contract in my truck. I pulled it out, couldn't find a pen, so I used a pencil. If you know anything about real estate or contracts, using pencil on a contract is a big no-no. But I did not know this. And not only did I fill the contract out in pencil, I was so nervous. I take the contract, we put it on the hood of his car. I'll never forget this. Put it on the hood of his car, and I wrote him as the seller and me as the buyer. When we got down to the purchase price, I put him as, I put the escrow amount as the purchase amount. Long story short, I screwed this thing up 10 different ways. It was screwed up. It was a horrible contract, but I did it. I just got the thing filled out. So what I then did is I took the contract, sent it into my title attorney, and instructed them that I'm going to wholesale this property to them. Well, the title company, by the time I got home, had already called and left a voicemail. You know, I'm excited. I'm calling my wife. I'm like, babe, guess what? We got it under contract. We're gonna make 10 G's on this thing. We're gonna make 10 grand. And the title company calls me up and says, Justin, there's some errors and there's some problems with the contract. Don't worry. We already sent your buyer. We already went ahead and filled out the contract correctly for you, sent it to your buyer for him to sign, and he already is signing it at our office because he lived there, he was local, and yours is in your inbox. So when you get home, sign it and send it back. Realize how powerful that is, my friends. I screwed it up big time, and it didn't fucking matter. It didn't matter because they fixed it for me, because it's their job. It was their job. Like, they want to keep the deal together. Me as the guy, I was just ignorant. I didn't know. I didn't know that, you know, what needed to be done. I also didn't know that how motivated a title company would be to keep a deal together. Right? right? Now, hundreds and hundreds of deals later, I can tell you a lot of things about title companies and the things they do. But, so that was it. I found the one relationship. I did the uncomfortable thing, which is go out there and make that relationship with a HUD broker. And I'm not telling you to find a HUD broker. Right now, foreclosures are not the good game to wholesale at all. They were back then. But you need to find that one person, whether it's another wholesaler that you can partner with, that you can learn from, JV with. Go out and build your buyers list, whether that's bandit signs or whatever. And that's how I put my first deal together. Found a broker, made the offer, it got accepted. I put bandit signs out, handyman home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, got flooded with phone calls. Found multiple buyers. The one buyer took it at my asking price. The net profit was like, you know, like $9,700, or so it's close to like 10,000 bucks. That was a life-changing day when I was driving home in my truck. Life-changing day. And it wasn't even about the money. It was about how amazing it was to know that you could take two contracts, one at one price, market that contract for another price, and collect money in the middle. It's an amazing feeling. Someone just asked, so was it a back-to-back closing? It was a simultaneous closing. Yes, simultaneous closings are legal in nearly every state, contrary to belief. When you guys are told by real estate attorneys and by title companies that simultaneous closings are illegal, it's because they don't know how to effing do them. It's because they don't have the cheddar, the money to pay for the policy. When a simultaneous closing becomes illegal, everybody's going to know it because it's going to be written in the book. It'll be illegal, and we'll all know it. So it's called a simultaneous closing in some states, a double closing, back-to-back closing. And in some states, it's gonna be hard pressed to find a single title company or title attorney that will be able to facilitate this type of transaction with the proper disclosures. So you may just have to do a one-day transactional funding, which is simple. If you have a deal under contract, my friends, and you have a buyer willing to buy it, you can make one email and one phone call to a transactional lender, and he will fund the deal. Doesn't care. You could be in the middle of a flipping bankruptcy, right? It doesn't matter. These people will fund that deal for you because you already have it under contract, and they just have to flash the money. They'll wire the money to your title attorney for you. So it's a wet closing, all for a fee, like 1.5%, 1%. You can shop around to find the best fee. So you're going to lose a little bit of money on the HUD because it costs you more money to do the transaction. But if that's what you have to do, if that's what you're comfortable with, if that's the only way that you can figure out how to do the deal, then do the deal that way. Cool. So good question, man. But guys, that's all it takes. You know, just go out there and do the uncomfortable things. I met the one person, and to go on, you know, look, from that point on, I kept that relationship going with him, and I did 14 HUD properties with him within 6 months. That's a lot. If you know anything about HUD and how long they take to close, that's a lot of HUD properties to do in that short amount of time. And all I did, guys, my friends, is look, I rinsed and repeated. I did nothing different. I just did the same thing over and over again. More bandit signs, more buyers, and eventually I found one landlord that wanted to buy all my stuff. So that's my message to you guys. It is a stormy, stormy day, but it's still beautiful, man. Every day on the beach is a beautiful day. I cannot complain. At some point, I'm going to paddle out here. Definitely not a sexy morning that I just can't wait to paddle out, but it is, there's some big chunky waves, so I'll probably paddle out for lunchtime. Mr. Webb says, nice. Brian gives the thumbs up. Sweet, sweet, man. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any questions for me, I'm going to get running. And we're going to do one more live, and then I got to jump over to the office. I'll give it a minute, see if anything comes through. Cool. All right, well, guys, anytime, if you ever have questions while I'm doing this, I'll try to answer it as long as it doesn't throw me off sidetrack. Hey, Danny says, all right, Brian, will do, man, will do. I ride a short board, so there's no hanging 10 really longboarding, but it's only on longboards. So, all right, Tony, good. Hey, man, glad to see you here. All right, guys, you got it, man. All right, hope that was a good tip for you, good story on my first deal, and hopefully it inspired you and gave you some information, gave you some good content. and it's all for you guys. So go out there and make it happen. All right, this freedom thing is the Freedom Mogul still available? Brian asked. Yeah, Freedom Moguls, guys, for anybody that doesn't know, Freedom Moguls is a community where I actually help and coach and support people in a secret Facebook community. So if you want to know more about it, go to freedommoguls.com/about, freedommoguls.com/about, or you can actually just go to freedommoguls.com as well. You'll see some of these videos that we do, these YouTube live videos up there as well. So just go there and learn about it. I actually personally help people there, but what's even cooler than that, in my opinion, is that my successful students, people that were doing nothing, they're now making 6 figures. They've literally quit their jobs. They're now making 6 figures, full-time real estate investors. They're there helping people, answering questions. It's literally a community. It's almost like a bit of a cult where we call ourselves Freedom Heirs, Freedom Moguls, and our purpose is to share everything at all times. So anytime I think of anything or anything new happens in my business, I share it because I'm trying to push those fellow members up, and they do the same thing. They just push each other up. Every time they get somebody that like a virtual assistant that did well for them, they share it. Every time they find a new mail campaign or a new letter that worked well for them, they share it. So everybody, we all get to take all these tips and grow off of it. It's honestly, you know, besides beyond courses and beyond how-tos, this is like a live, real life community. And every week I do a Facebook Live. That's exclusive just for the community. You get a lot of other cool stuff, but there's some cool shirts, some Freedom Mogul stuff. So Brian, thanks for asking. Yes, it's available. Cool, man. I appreciate you asking about it. And if that's something that you guys are interested in, go check it out. But anyway, guys, back to the story. We're finishing up the story. That was my first deal. It was a HUD deal and bandit signs. That was it. HUD and bandit signs. And I rinsed and repeated. And like I said, on to 14 deals right after that, or yeah, within 6 months of that, and then moved on to wholesaling more properties other ways, and you know, then got into fix and flip, and then realized, hey, this fix and flip game is a lot of work. So I went back mainly into wholesaling. I still fix and flip, but wholesaling is our main game. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here again. One more surf check for you. Look at this. Look at this wave coming off the pier bowl. What? When it's breaking right next to the pier, we call that the pier bowl. See that one right now about to break? Look at that. It's gonna grind her off the pier. Not a single soul out. Not a single person out, but I think I'm gonna charge it for sure in a couple hours. Get some work done. All right, guys. Well, be good. Have a great day. Go out there, get some success. Get some more deals under contract, flip them, make some cheddar. Right now is a great time in real estate. All right, guys. One love.